here we'll cover mechanics and electrical components also on tumbler chiller. So this is a side panel. If you're looking at the machine, this is on the left side. We have two of those machines. So side panel comes off. Main enclosure, electrical enclosure for it. There's some important maintenance points for the tumbler itself in the back. We'll go over that once we move to the other side. But main disconnect, this one trips out. If there's some power failure, this one will trip out, so we might have to reset this one. I just want to point out we have air coming into here. There's an air regulator. There's two of them here, and then there's also pneumatic valves. Just like kettles, this machine has pneumatic valves that control the water, cool water, and also steam. These machines have steam inject for cleaning the machine and sanitizing the machine. Also, there is, because there's a tumbler inside, there's a chamber, water chamber, and the machine needs to know the water level. So we have 1, 2, and 3 float switches for the tumbler itself, and then there's 2 tanks on this side, one on this side, the other one above it, on the left, on the right side, and those tanks also have float switches. Maintenance people would just check on the hoses if they're leaking, the air if it's leaking. If one of these sensors are not maintaining its position, then it will send a signal into the touch screen, so the operator will know. We have pneumatic valves. That's also a maintenance item, or one of those items that the maintenance department will have to check every so often, maybe a monthly or so. So we're on the other side, on the second, on the right side of the chiller machine. Tumbler chiller, thank you. So here we have more mechanical parts. We have, one of them is, a very important one is a heat exchanger right here. And the maintenance is to check, to make sure there's no leaks, there's no water leaks. We have cold water inlet and cold water out. That's on the process side. That's on the same side as the supply comes from the factory here. And then internally here we have a pump that circulates the water. It takes the water from the tumbler itself right here, with this big tube, brings it through a pump, and then pumps it into either heat exchanger, comes out this way, and there's a temperature probe that measures how cold the water is. Or if we don't need to pump it through the heat exchanger in the cleaning cycle, this valve shuts off, opens up this valve, and then pumps all the water into the upper tanks. There's 2 tanks again, and it will store that cold water there. And as when we need to clean the tumbler inside, then we would just use that same water or bring the water down to reuse it. Motor and a shaft right there for a tumbler. This one of them is one of the very important items here is to maintain and make the grease bearings. So there's 2 grease points. One of them is on this side, right here. I'm not sure if you can cover this, but there's a grease point here for the grease gun, and also one right here. And this is a weekly item to add the grease if these machines used full time. So the motor for the agitation, or for the tumbler pump here, and also one of the important things that it could be checked daily if we are breaking the product inside the tumbler is the filter. And filter can be removed through outside right there on this side. So this is our filter. So there's a wrench for it. You would, if the operators notice that they were breaking the product inside, you need to shut the machine off, drain it, open this filter, remove it, clean it, and restart the process. So you probably will have to clean the machine one more time and then check the filter. Because if the filter is clogged, it will burn out the pump. So it's very important to check the filter, especially if we know that the bags are broken inside the chill tank. This pipe here is our steam. We have a direct steam injection into the tumbler chiller at the time when we're cleaning and sanitizing the tumbler chiller. This is our water, cold water in, cold water out, and this is our supply water for the tumbler itself, for the inside of it. Just want to point out that operating manuals and the maintenance manuals for the tumbler chillers is really well put together and easy to read. It covers all the operations and also maintenance in very much details. Okay, so the machine, we can leave the machine on 24/7 basically. The emergency stop will be pressed at night when the machine is not working. To start the machine, you release the emergency stop and then reset it right here. And now it shows that the machine is in a good working state and we can operate. Can't open the door yet, so we have to unlock it from here, from this button. So now we can open the door, take a peek inside here. We've got a metal drum, all stainless steel. The components, level switches, the drain, the inlet for water is all behind all this, so you can't really see it. Here we have the pneumatic cylinders closing the lid and holding the lid closed when it's locked. Also right here behind here there's an adjustments for if this tumbler, if it's wearing out and it's years from now, we can adjust it higher or lower if we want to. So we'll close the door and we'll start the operation. A cylinder's holding it so it doesn't slam on the people. There you go. Okay, now we can lock the door. So right here is our status. Right now we're in pause, we're not running anything. On the left right here we have a water level. It's how much water we want in this chamber. So we can go first level or second level is all the way to the lip. In the middle there's a sensor setting or temperature setting for our water. The lowest we can go is 36 degrees. 36. And on the right of it, it shows the actual temperature. That's our set point, and that's our actual temperature. Below we have a timer. If we know that we have to cool down our product below 40 degrees, so we can set it to 36, that's the lowest we can go. And as long as soon as the water hits that temperature, our timer will start. And we can go and check our product, make sure that it cools down. And let's say if our product takes half an hour to cool down at this temperature, we just select 30 minutes right there. And as soon as the water hits that temperature, the set point, the timer will start. And when the timer is done, the machine's going to ask you, what else do you want to do? Do you want to drain, or do you want to send the cold water from here up in the upper tanks? There's two tanks, holding tanks here. And the reason why we have those two tanks there is because you don't want to constantly drain the tank to get the product out. You want to store that cold water above it. So for the next batch, when you bring the water down, it's already cold. So we can do that cycle, and then as soon as the water is out the lower chamber, we can the machine will stop, and then we can open the door, pull out the product, measure it, check it out. If it's still too hot, we start over again. We cool down. Okay, so right here we can select and cycle between each screen. So this screen right here, that's our cleaning screen. Once you go in there, it'll fully go through its cleaning cycle. It'll put the water into a chamber. It will heat it up with a steam to 170 degrees. It'll circulate the water between the upper tank and the lower tank, and it'll do it. It'll cycle it like 3 times, and then it will dump the water, and then it will stop the cycle. So in this case, we will say no, we don't want to go in the chill mode. Right here is our passwords. From a manual, we can set different parameters or different level access to operators. For troubleshooting purposes or for maintenance, you can see clearly which valve is on, which valve is off. So this screen comes very handy to see how the machine is operating, and or which state was at, and if we're having any issues, we can look at this little schematic. So this is lifetime. So this will show you what's happening while the machine is running. And then here again, this is more for maintenance. So you can see which valves are on, which inputs and outputs in the PLC are on or off. But for the operators, this is your main screen. And if we want to, we can just see level 1. You hit the start, and right here it'll show we filled the tank to first level. Now it's asking us to put the product inside in the chamber. And for the test of it, what I did is I set the timer to 1 minute, and desired water temperature at 82 degrees. So if we hit this checkbox, it will allow us to go into chill mode right there. And since the water temperature is lower than the set point, it automatically goes into a timer mode. There you go. So our timer is done. Okay, so what we can do is we can pause the machine right now. So we can pause the machine and we can get one bag out, check the temperature, and if it's good, we hit yes. If it's not good, if we need more time, then we hit no. So we'll start again. We'll say yes, we're done. And now it's asking us whether we want to send the water into upper tank. And just to save the energy, we either can drain it or send it to upper tank. So we can say yes, send it to upper tank, and it's going to take all the water and shoot it up into upper tank. And as soon as the lower tank is cleared out of water, it will allow us to open the door. Okay, so we just paused the process, and we'll restart again. Now it's taking all the water from the upper tanks and put it in the lower tank. And once this is done, we'll show how to drain the water from the lower tank. Okay, so right now the machine brought the full water down back to the lower tank, and now it's asking if we want to add the bags in here. Well, what I can do is I can just stop the cycle at any time. I can stop the cycle, and there's a drain button, and we drain. And as soon as the water is completely out of the tank, then this button will disappear and the door button will appear, and then we can open the door.